to Bass Steak Fishing. Today we are heading up to Pyramid Lake. It's a little farther north from where I live here in Castaic, but in the wintertime it's just a little bit better of a lake. You've got the northern strain bass. They tend to eat a little bit better in the wintertime. Castaic Lake has Florida strain bass. They just tend to be a little more lethargic in the wintertime. So we're heading up to Pyramid Lake, and today I'm going to try to catch some fish with the A rig, which is the Alabama rig. Unfortunately, here in California, we can't throw an actual Alabama rig. Let me show you what I mean. So this right here is an actual Alabama rig. You'll notice how many, see this one here's got 5 baits on it with hooks. These are all swim baits that I pour. This is an actual Alabama rig, and this is not legal in California. And the reason this isn't legal in California is we're limited to 3 baits with 3 hooks. That's it. So in California, you're not legally allowed to throw an Alabama rig. This thing right here, not legal. You'll see guys out there chucking the big umbrella rigs for striped bass. Supposedly, they're going to be throwing a whole bunch of dummy baits with only 3 of those baits hooked, and that makes it legal. I'm sure some of those guys are actually throwing more than the legal amount of hooks, but in California, this thing right here, not legal. So what do? We came up with something called the California rig, or the C rig, and I've got 2 of those set up that I want to throw today. I'm going to show those to you. So I've got this bigger one right here, and notice now you got 3 baits with 3 hooks. This is legal in California. These are, all 3 of these swim baits are baits that I poured as well. I don't even know if you can still buy this rig. You got the weights underneath it, and what this does is it balances it in the water a little bit, keeps this down, keeps your baits just, you know, swimming perfectly across. I looked for it, I can't find it. This thing, I bought it probably 7-8 years ago. I can't find this thing anymore. But this is one of the rigs I plan to throw a little bit today. It's a little bit bigger. These baits are a little bit bigger. See if that works. But the bait I'm really excited about is this micro California rig. Let me show you what that looks like. Here you go. This is the micro California rig. Now I poured these little swim baits as well, and these guys are just a little under 3 inches. So you can see how little this is. Let's call this a finesse California rig. I'm going to chuck this thing today. In fact, I'm going to spend most of my day, I hope, throwing this out there. My goal, my 2020 goal, is to simply catch some bass with the California rig. We'll see if it happens today. If I can knock it out today, then I got the rest of the year to come up with a new goal. But for now, my goal is to catch a fish with the California rig. I've never caught a fish with a California rig. So I figured this little finesse thing, how can this not catch bass? To be honest, we're here in the middle of winter again, so it's tough to catch fish. There's a good chance I'm going to throw this thing all day long and just not catch any bass with it. But I'm going to give it a shot. This little micro California rig. And I'm going to be throwing it on a pretty light rod. I don't need a real heavy action rod for this because this whole thing probably weighs under 2 ounces. It's a really small California rig setup. So we're heading up to Pyramid Lake. Darren's on his way right now. We're taking my boat out. I'm going to try to chuck this thing as much as possible, so there's a good chance I'm going to come back at the end of the day and have not caught a single fish and probably just had to net Darren's fish all day. But hey, it's worth it. I want to catch something with this rig. If I don't catch anything today, you better believe I'll be throwing this stuff for the next couple of times out, well into spring, because it's springtime, that's probably when you get the best shot with this thing. But I really want to catch something with the California rig. All right, join us. We're heading up to Pyramid Lake today.
I'm gonna find that because it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the one where he's talking about colors. He's made some good ones lately. I got one. I'm talking about cars.
You got that on what, though, right?
I'm on the jerk.
Whoa, jeez, I'm wrapped around like this. So I'm just gonna this. Looks good. Yeah. Awesome going. That is a big bass, dude. Fatty. Make sure you hold it up to the camera.
Right on. We got one.
Nice.
Right on. Nice little shot.
Good. That's a good fish. We're gonna weigh him.
Sorry, push right now. I'm scared of those hooks though. Alright.
Get him out of here.
Okay.
Don't pull.
Oh yeah.
Turn it.
A little slack.
That fish doesn't jump. It's good. There. And good.
Nice.
I got excited, so I go wrap this one. Right up there and then this way if I gotta cut this one.
I did not catch a 7 or a 6 or whatever it was.
That guy.
It was funny.
Look at this guy. There's bald eagle coming in.
Whoa, please do it. Oh, Brad.
Where's my kick? This is like what I
Look at
dream
he's all
of.
fanned out, his tail's all fanned out and
This is
everything.
what I dream of with my telephoto.
I feel like if he catches a fish, we're done.
Awesome. That would have been so
He
cool.
had something in his
He
sights.
was ready. He was
Yeah.
coming down, claws down.
Yeah.
But you see these great photos with photographers like right when they grab the fish.
Right, they're what do you call their tails are all fanned out at the back.
And he was so close that with my 300 millimeter, I could have got him. Totally.
Right, you can see his eyes. Right. Oh, I got a big one.
Oh my God, just got this. Dude, same spot, same bait.
On a jig.
Hold on. You can see him way the heck down there.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Dang, this is a good spot.
Yeah! Woo!
Look at that guy, dude.
Dude! Oh, God!
Nice.
Oh, dude.
It's a good fish. The same spot. On the same bait. No, that was a jig. Okay.
Yeah, make sure that guy get him. Where's your scale at?
Right here.
You turn it off for me?
Oh yeah. Take it. Be 2, 3, 3, 2. 3, 1, 3, 2.
3, 2. I'll take it.
Dude. It's a good fish.
Man. He hit it hard.
Nice.
Healthy, hit it hard. Thank you.
Oh, I'm back, and as you can see, I did not catch a sea rig fish, a California rig. That just means I'm going to keep on trying. I'm not done. I'm going to keep trying until I catch me a California rig fish. I got all year to do it. When spring comes around, those fish are going to be easier to catch. I'm going to just tear it up with that sea rig. But today was all about netting Darren's fish. He caught fish on a jerkbait. He caught them on a jig. A couple of really nice fish, which is why we go up to Pyramid Lake. Those fish just seem to be bigger this time of year. Castaic Lake, we've caught a couple fish there recently, but they've been smaller. Nothing like these 2.5, 3 pounders that we were pulling in today. And by we, I mean Darren, because I caught nothing. It was fun. We did see some eagles out there. We saw that bald eagle come down right in front of us. You can't tell on the GoPro. It makes it look like he's a mile away. He was pretty close. He was probably 50 yards in front of us. Wings outspread, came down. The fish went deep. Obviously, he didn't catch a fish either, so I'm in good company. Me and the bald eagle didn't catch a fish today. We also saw a nice golden eagle, huge. We turned a corner and this thing just came up from the water and it was a huge eagle. A lot of fun. You tend to talk about birds when you're not catching fish, and that's what today was all about. Darren caught fish, I didn't. It goes that way sometimes. But we'll see you next time on Bass Day Fishing.